All right, hopefully you can hear me. We're going live right now. This is Anthony Brian Logan. Welcome to ABL Live. If you can hear me, type in the chat below. The phone lines are not on right now. I'm just trying to build an audience. Donnie the King, I see you in the box. How does everything look? What do you see right now? All right. Let me see if I can get this out to a few more people here. All right. It's working. Everything's working. Now, what do you see? Can you see me or do you see the logo? All right. You can hear me. Can you see me? Do you see? Okay, you see the logo. Cool. That's good. That's good. Because I'm just testing everything out right now. Everybody says logo, logo, logo. Okay, I got you. I got you. Cool. All right. Cool. The voice is good. The voice is good. You hear the music. Good, good. All righty. Sean King is not black. Whoever that is. If Sean King is black, then I'm white. All right. I'm about to go ahead and take it off here for a minute. No digressing, please. Hilarious. I'm coming, you know, I'm here. I can switch it. So you'll see me in a little bit. Just hold your horses. It's all right. The inauguration protest, yes. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my face since you guys want to see me here. All righty, cool. Now, how does the chat look? How does the box? I fixed the chat over on the right hand side. I'm not interested in Gab, whoever that is. My phone lines are not on right now, but I'll turn those on in about 5 minutes. I just want to introduce myself. If you don't know, my name is Anthony Brian Logan. This is ABL Live. If you see this video anywhere else besides my channel, it has been stolen. So don't steal my stuff. You can do fair use all day, but don't just take it and upload it. You know, let me do a fade out. Check it out. Yeah, fade out. But yeah, this is ABL Live. My name is Anthony Brian Logan. We're going to talk about a few topics. We're going to get live callers in the building. My phone lines are not on right now, but we're going to just get those up in a little bit. I just kind of want to tee it up and let you know what's going on. You can see the chat. You could be in there. If you want to be a mod, let me know on Twitter. I got a few mods in there already. I got about 4 mods. I'm not quite sure if any of you that I've made a mod before are in there, but I will need some mods because we had some troll last time. So if you want to be a mod, let me know on Twitter. My Twitter is twitter.com/Anthony B. Logan. That's ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. All right. So we got 205 in the building. Thank you all for joining me. Definitely. Zach Carter says, dude, you're killing the political commentary game on YouTube. Keep it up. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I definitely do. The NYC says, this is fire. Baron, where you at, man? Are you in the UK? Azith, what's going on, Azith? I see you in the building. You got your mod status. All right, Azith. Mod is like a moderator of the chat, just in case people are in there trolling or saying weird stuff, the mods will be able to kind of delete them or ban them or whatever they got to do. Now, the chat, people were asking for the chat, actually, David. People were saying that they were disappointed the chat was not in the video. So, this is kind of like me just trying to please certain people, but you can't please everybody. And I understand that. We got 236 live in the building. Hawks Vlog says, how did you get 92,000 subs? Just grinding, man. Hard work. And mostly just search engine optimization. If you go on Google right now and you search Carol Costello apologizes, my video comes up before everything. That's before any other videos, before any other links, before everything. My video is number one. That's kind of part of my whole strategy, is being a guy that's technically inclined. That's how I'm able to kind of do well on YouTube. Shout out to you, Brett Harvey, coming from Canada. As a Lion, what's going on? Grant Wheeler, what's going on? Boys in the Hood. What's this? Oh, you got a clan? Are you a troll? Hopefully we don't got a troll in the building. Nah. Son of Trumpets loud. What's going on? Rob Dewey, but I digress. Now, hopefully don't nobody, we're going to pretty much be cool with the banning. Unless you're just a troll. If you're a troll, then it is what it is. You got to bounce. What am I going to talk about? What we're going to do right now, we're going to get some callers on the line. I'm going to go ahead and start my Skype up. So you guys see the number in the title. It's 434-658-1220. And I'm going to turn my Skype on in just a minute here. My Skype is now on. So you should be able to contact me here. All right. We pretty much starting right now. We've pretty much already started. The inauguration is coming very soon. Yes. I don't think it's going to be too many protests. There will be some protests. I've seen websites that have like, oh, we got a caller. Okay. 786, you're on the line. Who's speaking? 786. Oh, you got nervous. Don't get cold feet now. 720, you're on the line. Who's speaking?
My name's Russ. I'm from Denver, Colorado. How you doing, Anthony?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
I am doing great. I've been counting down the days till Trump's inauguration, and right now we're at day 6, and I've been doing the 12 days to inauguration is like, the 12 days of Christmas, and so I've been like picking like different themes, and today was I picked on the 6th day of inauguration, Obama gave to us 6 years of a Republican-controlled do-nothing Congress, and the reason I do this is because the more the day comes up, the more I see the left just go insane, and it's fascinating to watch because they know that they lost, and they don't want to admit it, so they're trying to delegitimize it by putting out this fake news garbage and saying that the Russians hacked the election. And the more they continue to just go down this road, the less that they are credible at all. And it's just going to be amazing to see these next 4, possibly 8 years of what Trump's going to do, because Trump's not a politician, and he's not going to act like a politician even though he's the president. So this tells me that things are going to move a lot faster than they normally would.
Right. Well, I think at the end of the day, I think once we get past inauguration, once we leave the past in the past, once we leave Obama and his policies in the past, once we're able to go forward, I think people that are really just vocal and distressed at this point will change their tune.
Oh yeah, I think eventually we'll have be able to convert at least some of them, not all leftists, but at least some, because what I'm seeing happening is not only are things going to move fast, but you better be kept up to speed, or else you're going to be left in the dust, because Trump is a different tune. Everybody, at least in my parents' generation, during the Reagan era, it was all about, revitalizing the economy and putting people back to work. And for me, this is like Reagan 2.0. Okay, this is like Reagan only on an entirely different level here. This is something that I've never seen before, and I'm excited.
Right.
And I think everybody who voted for Trump should stay positive and not let the media or all this fake news garbage get to them, and don't be discouraged by what the left says, because right now they have no ground to stand on at this point. I mean, and I know that some people are saying, but the Republicans in the Senate don't have the 60 votes needed to be a filibuster-proof majority. And I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about that, because this is a no excuses administration. So the people in the Senate, they'll have no excuses. So this whole filibuster-proof thing, I'm not worried about it. So I don't think anybody that voted for Trump should either. And I'm talking about the confirmation of nominees here.
I'm with you on that, man. But I got to go ahead and just put a pause in it right there. That was a great call to start it off with. I really appreciate you.
All right, take care, man.
All right, now.
Bye.
All right, we have 956. You're on the line. Who's speaking?
Yeah, this is Eduardo, one of your subscribers.
Eduardo, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Anthony? Yeah, I would like to start off. I just want to start off with a preface by saying, hey, I love your videos. I actually like the commentaries, everything, like especially how you edit the videos.
Yes.
And so, like, really, I've been wondering. We know there are only 6 days left till the inauguration, and my newsfeed, every time I get on Facebook, it's exploding with a lot of sentiment about Obama's departure, because most of my friends, they're liberals. Most of them are liberals, and they're posting videos about they're basically lamenting the death of America, and that Obama's leaving, and now we have Trump in. I mean, what would you say? Like,
you said what now?
No, like now that I have liberal friends, and they're basically lamenting the death of Obama, or actually America, but in reality, Trump is actually saving the day. He's saving our jobs. I mean, he's bringing back our jobs.
Right.
Like, just recently, we had the Fort. Like, just recently, he bought the Ford plant from Mexico for about $700 million. And
right.
Actually, we watched one of those videos, and that was interesting to me. And also, my friends, every time let's say I have a debate with, let's say, I believe it was one of my friends, we were having a debate, and she keeps on reiterating the same thing, that he's a racist, he's a phobic, all that, like she was like a sheep in a way.
Well, I mean, there's not much you can do about that. Some people are just going to be how they are. That's just going to be what they are. Sometimes I try to convert people and try to make them see the light, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to do. It's just like when somebody's on drugs and you're trying to like send them to rehab and you're trying to do all these different things. Mm-hmm. It's not going to work until they want to change themselves, so that's just pretty much what it is. All you can pretty much do is keep being who you are.
Yeah.
And, if they want to be somebody different, then they'll be that way. But
exactly. I
appreciate the call, man. I'm going to get to a few more because my line is blowing up, but I definitely appreciate it, Eduardo.
All right.
Well,
now. Keep up the good work, Anthony.
I definitely appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
919, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, bro? This is Terrence.
What's going on, Terrence?
What's going on, bro?
It ain't too much.
Been a subscriber of yours for a long time, man.
All right.
Yeah, I want to just talk about this inauguration. I just want to ask you about what do you think about Sharpton going out and protesting today in D.C.?
Well, was he out there today?
Yeah, it was today. The National Action Coalition.
I had no idea. I mean, that pretty much tell you what I think about it right there. I mean, It didn't do anything. It was pretty much ineffective. I didn't even hear about it until just like right now, today. You the first one that ever told me, and I'm into politics, so I didn't even know about it. And I think
out there protesting, saying he wanted the Democrats and the moderate Republicans to push Trump and not let him get through with any of his policies or whatever. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, see, I hadn't even heard about that. See, the thing about it, I think he's just pretty much he's almost done as far as his relevance in society. At one point in time, he had a lot of steam behind him. Maybe like in the 80s or whatever.
Right.
But it's 2017. At this point, his whole thing is played out. People are beyond that point in time. He may have had a purpose in one point in history, but he does not have a purpose anymore. So he's still trying to hold on to that, and it's not working well for him, which is why nobody cares about him going out there to protest.
Exactly. Hey, I just want to say, keep doing your thing, bro. Keep doing a good job. You see me in the chat all the time. I'm always on your channel all the time.
I definitely appreciate your support, man, for real. I really appreciate you.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right, Dan.
Have a good one.
Same to you, man. All right, 641, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Robert Fredrickson.
Robert, what's going on, Robert?
Hey, I love your show. I love your channel. I'm a subscriber. And I just think it's just amazing, all the hypocrisy and corruption that has been exposed through this election. And it's still going on. I'm praying for Donald Trump. I think he's for real. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Okay, we got 586 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, this is Asaf. What's going on?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I just wanted to hit you up about the whole thing with Lewis, just get your thoughts on it. That's my question. I just want to make a quick statement about it. I understand, like, the people, he's a big civil rights guy. I understand that. But I'm like, when you do things like that, like, I'm a veteran. That doesn't mean I can just go around saying whatever I want with impunity and not have any repercussions for it. Like, I can't stand seeing it. Like, oh, she's a woman. You can't say that. That guy has a deformity. You can't say anything about what he says. Like,
right.
No, you can still be wrong and still have that. I just want to get your thoughts on that, and I'll get off the line. So.
Man, I appreciate the call, but that's definitely, you're definitely right about that. Just because somebody has some kind of designated status does not mean that what they say is to be free from scrutiny or criticism. So I'm with you on that.
All right, well, I'll get off. Thanks a lot.
All right, appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, we got 802 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Jackson.
All right, Jackson, what's going on?
Yes, hello. I just want to ask you about what you would do to replace Obamacare with, and also I would like to start my own. YouTube channel where for political reasons and do live streams kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you had any advice for that. And that's basically my question.
Okay, so how to start a channel? Well, it's a pretty long question, but I'll give you a short answer. Now, the thing is, you just want to be consistent with your content. You want to be consistent, and you want to be able to have good quality content. Get your sound right, get your video right if you do video, and make sure that you have a nice amount of words in your description box, because the key to all of this is really just optimizing it for search engines, because people are searching for certain things. You want to be able to be timely with your information. Like let's just say something happens in the political world. You want to be on it pretty quickly. It doesn't have to be right away, but within the first 24 to 48 hours, you want to be on it. So that's the main thing. And also, a person to look up is a man named Roberto Blake on YouTube. He has channels. He has a playlist of videos that tell you how to get higher views and more subscribers. Go to his channel and research and, study those videos, and you'll be able to do a lot with your channel.
Also, do you have any ideas on what you would replace Obamacare with? if you were president? Just wondering.
Well, that's a tough question. I mean, me personally, I'm a free market kind of guy. I say just let people just, be in the free market. And if anybody is kind of, well, the thing about it, let me kind of back up. Free market, but get a lot of the government out of healthcare, because a lot of the government intrusion in healthcare is making the healthcare rise. The key should be making healthcare more affordable and less expensive, because the way it is now, you have to get insurance because you cannot afford the overly inflated healthcare. I think that's the main thing. That's the biggest reason why it's so expensive and unaffordable.
Thank you. I just want to say I love your channel. I love watching your videos. I agree with many of your beliefs, and thank you so much for answering my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate the support.
Bye.
All right now. Okay, we got 208 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, good evening, Mr. Logan. This is Nick, Mr. Bloom. How you doing this evening?
What's going on, Nick Bloom?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just wanted to stop by and say I really appreciate the show, for one. And I do have some questions. I see a lot of how people treat you in regards to other YouTubers. There's other YouTubers out there. They're not very big. But I can see you get a lot of flack from others in the black community. May I ask how you handle that, like, personally, if that makes any sense? It's something different that I couldn't honestly relate to, being I am a white male, of course, from the Northwest. But it's with how polarized we are as a country. I mean, I just wonder how do I put it? Where do you see the future going, in a way, towards race relations after all the happenings in the last 8 years?
Well, that's kind of like two questions, but I'm answering the first one first.
Yeah, true. Apologies.
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, how do I handle any kind of backlash? The thing about it is that these people I never hear anything like that to my face ever in my life. I'm 32 years old. I've never heard that ever in my life to my face. And the people that I really know that's out there in the black community really doing things, really making change, really doing, like me personally, I'm involved with the black community in a real way. Like some people say, you got to be out there mentoring kids, volunteering at homeless shelters, and that's good and that's fine. But I'm actually out there providing for black businesses, putting money in their pocket specifically. I've been doing that for a decade at age 32. So, that's what I do. So nobody that I know would ever talk like that. And the truth is, people that are in black business, the people that are really out there moving and shaking, they all agree with me. Everybody. They can't say it publicly, of course, but they all agree with me. And as far as
people get castrated publicly. Apologies.
Yeah, exactly. You're 100% correct. And as far as race relations, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have kind of like a balkanization of sorts. You're going to have segments of the community that are pretty much isolated off to themselves. And if they want to prosper, they're going to have to get with us that are doing well, that think differently than them. So it's going to be more about self-preservation. Do you want to kind of live on the plantation, or do you want to be free? That's going to have to be a question they got to ask themselves. And everybody else in other communities, they'll kind of have to get with the ball in their own way. But I can only speak on from my perspective, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I'm trying not to take up too much time, but I would like to comment real quick. Seeing where things were prior to the last 8 years, how well things were actually going, and seeing the turn that they've taken, a very hostile turn as they know, it actually really upsets me growing up in a very diverse culture and world as opposed to maybe the rest of the United States. And I've noticed, just because of the color of my skin, of course, I'm looked upon differently now. And it's really odd, and it's like they don't know my heart. They don't know anything about it, And I really appreciate the work you do, and I guess I'll end it with that. I'm glad to follow you, and hopefully we're going for a pretty good 2017.
Hey man, I definitely agree with you, man. That's definitely a great point to end your call with, man. So I appreciate the call. Thank you for your support.
Absolutely. Take care, Mr. Logan.
Same to you, man.
Right. Bye.
All right, we got 317 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Nolan.
All right, what's going on, Nolan?
Hey, nothing much. Just want to get your thoughts on crap. 1 second.
All right, man. You got to get it together, man. We live.
Shit, we are live. Now take another caller. Hey, I just love your work. Just wanted to call in. I love your work. Keep it up.
Thank you for your support, man. I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right. All right. We got 703 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Chris. Happy New Year, buddy.
What's going on, Chris? Northern Virginia. What's going on?
Yeah, you know it. Hey, I didn't even know about this march. And, of course, the Kremlin newspapers reported as thousands of people show up. And then in parentheses, it says 2,000. And it has our hero in there, Al Money Sharpton, because apparently his $120 a plate meal wasn't done. So he's out there marching. I have no love for that man, as you can tell. I know the scam that he's in. But that aside, did you catch Milo's kerfuffle? I'm going to use your word. And where are the kerfuffle T-shirts, by the way?
Hey, they're coming soon. They're definitely coming soon. But I've not seen that. I've been hearing about that a lot, like within the past couple of hours. I think it was at UC Davis. Yeah, I've been hearing about that.
Yeah, that's where free speech started.
So what happened with that? Can you break that down for me right quick?
Absolutely. Milo went up as normal to set up for his 9:30 meeting. There was another kid named Martin Schriekle. I butchered his last name.
Farmer bro.
Yeah, and he set it up.
Oh.
Well, then they get the bums, and I can tell you right now, looking out in that audience, none of those people went to Berkeley because none of them looked smart enough. Although Berkeley is one of those schools with a big name and not a hard education to grasp. But it looks good on a resume when you say I graduated from Berkeley. Right. Anyways, typical protest. They get out there, they wear those masks so you don't really know who they are. They got bandanas tied around their face, pushing and shoving, typically. People sticking their fingers in their face, telling you how evil you are. The chant for fascism, all that other stuff. They don't even know what fascism is. That's the funny part of it, because they're the ones killing free speech.
Right, exactly. Well, they're the fascists.
Exactly. So they pushed down the barricade, and they were able to block it off. They did the arm-in-arm link, typical paid for by Soros routine.
Yes.
Well, today he went out there and marched out there, because we all know liberals don't work on Saturday. We all know that.
Right, exactly.
Soros isn't going to pay him for a Saturday job. And so they were, Milo went down there, did a lot of photo op, had the bullhorn going, everybody asking really solid questions. I was shocked at how much these people were into it. There was one woman I'll call out. She was not a Berkeley person. She asked a question, and he shot it right back at her. And she goes, well, I'm the media. And he goes, well, you should definitely have an opinion. And she was stunned. She didn't know what to say. But that's the only question I had for you. Great talking to you. Thanks for taking my call. And like I said, same losers marching. I live 8 miles from here, and I didn't even know what was going on. That's how much fanfare it got. So for the guy that called, thanks a lot. I had to look it up real quick.
Right, exactly.
So you have a great day. Thanks for the show, and I'll shout out Rand University like I always do. Shout out to Rand. And you have a great day, Anthony.
Same to you, man.
Bye.
All right, now. I got an unknown caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you actually hear me?
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Raiko, and I'm from Estonia. It's in northeast Europe.
Yes, Baltic state.
Yes. Oh, Baltic states. You actually know that's.
Yes. I'm very aware of what's going on. It's right at the border of Russia. It's right in between. It's like at the Baltic Sea. You got Finland to your north. You also have Russia to your east, and you have Poland to your south. Right.
Okay. Yeah. That's really impressive, because most Americans, they have no idea.
Right.
I'm basically just calling to let you know that people here also watch your channel, and I just wanted to get some of your ideas about Trump's policies about Europe. Yes. Because our media here is trying to scare people, that Trump is going to, somehow make USA leave NATO and stuff. So we are free lunch for Russia or something.
Right.
And what do you think about that?
Well, I think that Trump just wants peace. He doesn't want to just antagonize Russia. He doesn't want to intervene unnecessarily overseas. because a lot of those things that happen overseas, they cause conflict with other countries that may or may not be intended. Like, let's say we go to Poland. Like, I just did a video about that, where we have troops going to Poland, and they want to come to, I think, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and other countries right along the border of Russia to so-called, protect those countries. But my question is, are they trying to protect you, or are they trying to aggress upon Russia? Trump is not one to do that. So if he thinks they're trying to aggress upon Russia, he's going to reverse that, or we hope that he'll reverse it. That's why we voted for him. That's why he got into office, because people do not want to have war. Because not only does it impact you overseas, it impacts us as well, because we have to go over there. Our brothers, our sisters, our family members have to go over there and die. So we don't want that.
Yeah, that's really good to hear, because we have like kind of history with Russia, so we are always like careful,
Yes.
just in case. But Russians are kind of friendly, and since I am next to Russia, we can see like Russian media, and Russian media kind of makes a little bit like fun about the crazy stuff that goes around in USA. Like about like the Russians hacking and all these kind of things, and
yes,
and they have like these memes that everything is done by Russians. Like if you go to Russian website, it's kind of funny. Like, and Russians actually don't believe that Putin has like any ties to Trump, or I just thought you might want to hear about that.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't have any ties, because like a lot of that is just our media just trying to. It's like propaganda. That's all it is. It's propaganda, and everybody knows it, except for certain people that want to promote the propaganda.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to hold you anymore, so I kind of have to go to sleep because it's 4:30 a.m. here. So Anyway, good luck.
Thank you for your call. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Shout out to Europe. Shout out to the Baltic states. Shout out to Poland. Shout out to all the Eastern Europe, Western Europe, everybody. I really appreciate you. That was a great call coming from, I think, Estonia. Great call. All right. We got 574 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Brian Skinner.
All right, Brian. What's going on?
Pretty good. I love your show. I've just now started listening to it for, I'd probably say a good couple of months. I'm a white guy, 43 years old. I'm originally from Detroit. So I grew up there, just out there during the 80s and stuff like that. And I would have to say that I appreciate greatly the hard work and dedication in your videos. It's more to it than, saying what's behind the numbers and just hearing numbers. I guess it's one of those ones you would say what's right is right. It's not just one side of it. And really, I would like to know is what inspired you to get into this type of commentary, because you're going to get a lot of flack, good and or bad, and you're going to have people who definitely not like it, especially if you tell anything that's truth that's truly against their views right now, especially when we have so many on the left that are trying to badmouth and tear down anything that becomes, because I would personally would say you're a pillar of your community, trying to push education, trying to push truth, trying to, hey, go out and talk to people, go out and learn some things. So, absolutely.
Well, I definitely appreciate you, man. That's very kind words. And I think I think you're 100% correct. And I hope that more individuals can think the way you think.
So excellent, sir. So if you get a chance, I'll go ahead and take your answer off, and then I would definitely hope they can continue good work. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
All right now. 803 on your line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my name is Amanda.
Amanda, what's going on?
Everything is going good. I had a really quick question. So I watched your video earlier today about Steve Harvey. And I've been watching Steve Harvey for absolutely so long. And how did you feel about his response to the media whenever he was saying, "Oh, well, we had some good conversation." And how did you feel about his response to that? Because I know that he just talked so much trash about Trump, and it just really disappointed me because he's always been that type of person to be like, "Okay, let's get things. We need to come together. We need to do this. We need to do that." And to me, it just feels like he was a part of like the left. Totally against Trump, totally against everything that was going on. Trump trying to do good things for America. And what really cracked me up was the fact that he was just like so nonchalant about it. He was just like, why am I wasting my time? That's the kind of vibe that I picked up. Do you feel the same way about that?
What you mean? As far as, do you think he was saying that about his meeting with Trump, like it's a waste of time?
Yeah, like it was a waste of his time, and he was just like, I could have been doing something else, getting better media attention from somewhere else, if that makes sense.
Well, I think he was kind of like between the rock and the hard place, because you got to understand Steve Harvey is very big as a celebrity, and he's kind of like pigeonholed himself into kind of a corner because he had Hillary Clinton on the show, during the campaign, which was all scripted. I did a video about that, if I'm not mistaken. So he was basically a Hillary supporter. He was basically a supporter of the left. Now he has an audience that got a large black audience, from like 20, 30 years of being in the public eye. And you got a lot of black backlash against Trump. So he's kind of like not trying to anger the black audience, but at the same time trying to come to kind of a middle ground. So him going there in general was big enough because it could have just declined, but he went. Exactly. So it's like he doesn't want to make it seem like he's overly enthusiastic to be here because that'll throw his whole fan base off. So I think that's kind of where he was at, trying to play the center, so to speak.
Yeah, I got you. Do you feel disappointed that he made a comment? He said, the only reason why I'm here is because my president asked me to be here.
I mean, I don't see a problem with that because at the end of the day, like I said, he didn't have to go, but he's like, okay, I was asked to be here, so I'm here. I did it. I'm a man. I stepped to the plate when I'm called. I think that's the way everybody should be, even if you don't like Trump, because he could actually hate Trump for all I care. It doesn't matter. But you still step to the plate as a man when you called, and I respect that.
Right. I respect that, too. Do you think that he's going to follow through with everything that he discussed with Trump?
I hope so. I can't, but only time can tell.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, thank you so much. I don't want to keep you up.
All right, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, we got 602 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Beth.
Say that one more time, please.
You're speaking to Beth.
All right, Beth.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. What's going on?
Hi. Oh, my gosh. Good to talk to you. I'm one of your biggest fans. Hi. I am calling from Arizona, and I am an African-American. I knew Trump would win, so I had bought my tickets to fly to the inauguration the day he won, and I got my tickets to see him, and it's just a shame from the experience, the backlash that I have totally gotten from just going to go see him or just going to just supporting him. You had to pretend you were either Bernie Sanders supporter or someone else supporter just to be, talk about it freely. Right. But I talk about it freely now. I don't care anymore. I support Trump. It's sad to see what the black community has done to Steve Harvey, and
yes,
I made comments on his page, on his Twitter page. I have a Twitter page, and I have quite a bit following. But to see what they're saying on his page, I mean, when are we as African Americans or Black Americans going to, we complain so much about the Republicans. They don't do anything. They don't speak to us. And then when we do, and they try to use people that we feel comfortable with, we just attack them. And then we say, no, we don't, whatever you're trying to help us with, we don't want it, because it seems like only the Democrats can help the poor, the sick, or the blacks or minorities. I mean, when are we going to see a change from that within our communities?
You know what I think my theory about that is? That's a good question, by the way, and thank you for calling. But my theory about that is, if and when Trump delivers, we'll have no choice, because at that point you can't deny it. Once he's able to follow through on promises And once the black community starts to see improvement and they start to see things change from the way they were during Obama, at a certain point, you can't deny it. Some will try to say, oh, it's not Trump, Obama laid the groundwork or whatever. But many of us are starting to kind of see it now. We're already starting to see things a little bit differently. And it's going to be a gradual process. But the thing is, I have hope because at one point we had more parity in the black community. We had more people that voted Republican versus liberals. We had more of an even mix. So if it was that way at one point before 1960, it can be that way again. So I got faith, really.
I have faith. One thing I learned about, like when I looked at Trump's campaign, like the people that he has as the African American voice or the black vote, who cares? We're Americans. But, I hear a lot of complaints because I'm an advocate. I actually proposed some town hall meetings to Trump's campaign to kind of talk about some grassroots issues, I think we have to stay in the community with this campaign. We just can't say, oh, we won and leave. We have to keep those promises. But I noticed that in his campaign, he has a lot of people that the black community would call sellouts, would call, Uncle Toms, anyone who actually thinks for themselves in the black community. We tend to label each other. I would hope that he would see the need to have more of a grassroots organization, especially if you're going to talk about economics and you're going to be on the streets and you're going to be out there saying, I'm going to reform HUD. Because the Democrats are just, everything that Trump does, they're going to be like, this is terrible for you. Oh my gosh, he's taking your $27 food stamps from you. Instead of giving you a good job, he's creating you an economic benefit that is positive for this community. So I really think that the one thing that I wish he would do is kind of say, okay, the people I'm going to be bringing to the table too are some of the grassroots individuals who can speak the language and not just speak at us.
Right, I'm with you on that. And I'm going to go ahead and just make my last point and get to a few more callers. But I think anybody that's brought under the umbrella initially will get the label of somebody that's an Uncle Tom, coon, sellout. I mean, they had Jim Brown, of all people, at Trump Tower, and they called him an Uncle Tom or a coon. Now, like I know that Jim Brown is the last person you would ever call an Uncle Tom or a coon because he's really somebody that's been out here for years since civil rights, like since the 70s or 60s, really doing things in the black community to help. So to call him Uncle Tom, that just lets me know they're not really speaking logically. So like I said, I think once we start to have improvement and Trump produces and he delivers, that'll be what will change people's minds in the black community from starting to make those baseless accusations about coon, Uncle Tom, etc. But I got to stop it right there.
Before you leave, let me just make one more.
Okay, make it quick, please.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick. We need to stop giving permission for Democrats to be racist towards other black people who think outside the box.
Right.
And it's no read for civil rights if civil rights is only for the Democrats. And thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, we got 404 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Sean.
What's going on, Sean?
How's it going?
It ain't too much.
I appreciate everything that you're doing. I subscribe to your channel. I'm originally from Norfolk, and it seems like, no one wants to give Trump a chance. They're steadily pushing out all this negativity, and they gave Obama 8 years.
Yes.
And they wanted to give this man 1 day, sit back and enjoy the ride because there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
And my thing is, okay, yeah, if he veers off course by just a little bit, then I'll be the first one to scream impeachment. But until he proves what his agenda truly is, then, there's no changing it. It's already been done. He's been elected.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I'm with you on that. I think the main thing is with any president, it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what party they're from. If they have certain policies that they promised, they got certain things they promised, and they don't deliver, then you got to hold their feet to the fire. If they do things that are incorrect or improper or whatever it is, then hold their feet to the fire. Just like Bill Clinton, when he did bad things, the crime bill or whatever it is, you hold his feet to the fire. Just like George Bush, when you go to Iraq, when there's no WMDs in Iraq, when you lied about Iraq, you hold his feet to the fire. It doesn't matter what party you win. So I think what you're saying is 100% correct. And people just need to kind of adopt that mentality and stop being so emotional. And that goes for whoever, Democrat, Republican, or whatever.
Right. And my thing is, although a lot of the people in this country, are belly aching and griping about Trump, but my wife is from the Philippines.
Right.
And they could have someone like the Filipino president where they're finding dead bodies in the street.
Right.
Because of this drug war that they have, So, I mean, come on now. You can't have everything, There's a lot of different minds and a lot of different people in this country. And I think that, she ran a good race, but she didn't come out on top. So all of the supporters of her should just sit back, stop pulling all of this garbage out of the woodwork, and let things happen the way they're going to happen. I don't understand. Why are they going so? Well, I do understand, because it's the establishment, and the establishment doesn't want him in there.
Yes,
and I understand that. But at the same time, like I said, this man has fought a good fight. He's won the election. So give him the opportunity and stop. It's like obstacles. He keeps throwing obstacles in his way. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm not going to take up all your time, and I greatly appreciate the humor that you put into your video. Keep that up. That is very nice.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for calling.
No problem. Have a good night.
Same to you, man. All right, 818, we're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, wow, this is so great. Hey, how you doing? This is Antonio Viscarondo, and I'm calling you from Queens, New York. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm going to keep it as fast as I can. You got a lot of people, and you should. Just want to congratulate you.
Before you go on, turn your speakers down, please.
Yeah, it is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear my feedback, so turn your speakers down.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me better now?
I can still hear you, but I don't hear myself, so you
Hello?
good.
Yeah, I turned mine off.
Yeah, you good. You good to go. So what's going on?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to point out the fact of how it's so weird how the government wants to place sanctions, like with the whole with Russia. They want to kind of make them pay the price for supposedly doing something that they really haven't proven that they've done, which is the whole hacking. But it's already been proven with Hughely about how she was fed answers, and it's like, again, there's no price to be paid. You want to make a whole country pay the price for something that could be bigger, or actually start something that can really affect people's lives. But here you have someone that did something illegal, not one, got answers and accepted it, didn't even report it, and no one wants to make a big deal about it. There's no consequences in that. That's not breaking the law, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that.
So what's your specific question you want to ask me about that?
Well, one, like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that is something that, people are overlooking, the fact of that with Hughely and with the whole Russian thing, vice versa, or do you feel like, it's whatever, basically?
Well, the thing about it, people just want to find something about Trump that's wrong. And
Exactly.
Hillary, you could do all kind of negative things on the other side as far as Hillary Clinton is concerned. They'll ignore those things because it's not about trying to make Hillary look bad. It's about trying to make Trump look bad. So that's pretty much all that is. And then they'll make up stuff, and then they're just trying to find things. They'll try to blow up very small things that he has done to make it bigger than what it is. And they'll minimize what she has done and or ignore things she has done to make her look better.
Definitely. I definitely 100% agree with that. My background, I'm actually half Puerto Rican, half Jamaican, and that's my family's from the island, so it's like a Caribbean American thing. And a lot of people don't realize in this country, it's a whole bunch of people in this world that just see skin complexion, like, oh, you're black, you're this, you're that, you suppose. Like, I love what you say about diversity of thought, because people have to understand people come from different parts of the world, and everybody's not raised the same way. We don't have the same
different cultures.
Thought. Yeah, and with the inauguration, people talking about protesting. I'm here in New York. There's so many people that are, I don't want to say, kind of uncultured. They just think everybody's the same. Like, if you're black, you need to be against so and so, and it's like, it shouldn't be about that. Are you an American or are you not an American? If you don't like it, then okay, you can leave. My family, when they didn't like things in their country, being from Jamaica or from Puerto Rico, they were like, I think I could get a better life somewhere. And I wish some people would do that instead of trying to make riots. They say they're for democracy, but they don't want to accept the result of the presidency and everything like that.
100% correct. All day long. Yeah. That was a great comment. I agree with you all the way.
Yeah, man. And like I said, once again, congrats on everything you're doing. You're really giving some people a good thoughts, things to really think about, and pointing out what needs to be pointed out. So thank you once again. I'll let you go on all those callers. Have a good night, man.
Same to you, man. Appreciate the call.
No problem. Take care. Bye.
All right. 317, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Nolan. Don't worry, I got my question written down.
All right. You prepared. That's good.
Yeah. I just want to know, why did the left believe their own polls and spend $1.2 billion on the campaign and think that they were going to win? Are they just dumb? Did they just believe their own crap too much?
Well, I don't think they necessarily believed the polls. I think the polls were used as a kind of propaganda and a promotional tool. And they spent that money because they were desperate. They thought that if they spent the money, if they, basically faked the polls, if they had the media on their side, if they had a woman, because that's a whole different ball of wax. They wanted to be the champion of identity politics when it came to the presidency in general. So they were trying to put the first woman in the presidency in 2008. But here comes Barack Obama, smooth talking black guy. Okay, that'll work because he's still different than the standard white male. So now they still wanted to put the first woman in there. They still wanted to do that this time. So they thought, okay, we got a woman who is a wife of a former president, and things were good during his period of time for the most part. And we're going to put all this money, and we're going to have the media on our side, and we're going to fake polls, and we're going to fake news and all that kind of stuff. But it didn't work. And that's the best they could have done. So that's all they had.
That's all they had. Yeah, they played the gender and identity politics too much, and they're continuing to do that because I see that Kirsten Gillibrand and the black senator, I can't remember his name, they're pushing them to, and they're pushing the race and the gender politics just yesterday when they were at the hearing with Jeff Sessions. So they're going to continue to do that, and they're going to continue to fail. So I hope they just implode on themselves, and then we get something different. I mean, we got Trump, but maybe that party turns into the Libertarian Party or something cool like that.
Maybe that'd be great if it did.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. A lot of good calls. I definitely appreciate you guys. I really do. Unknown caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Todd from Toronto, Canada.
What's going on, Todd from Toronto?
Yeah, it's all good here. How about you?
Everything's going good, man. Just talking to the people. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Well, far be it from me to start promoting another content creator on YouTube, but are you familiar with a guy from Azerbaijan who makes whose channel is called Caspian Report?
That sounds familiar, but I can't really say I'm familiar with that person.
Okay. Well, he just does political analysis videos, among other things, and in particular has done two, I think, quite good analyses of, North American politics and the Trump election. And I wanted to point out something and then get your reaction to it.
Okay.
He Yeah.
That's all right, man.
Suddenly I'm blanking. He points out that for the first, at least 2, maybe even 3 years, the Trump team is going to have to spend a lot of time undoing a lot of the work, a lot of the, if you will accept, damage that Obama had done, that the Obama administration had done. Point there being simply that in order to be able to assess whether or not Trump is even doing a good job, we're not going to be able to know until some pretty hefty chunk of time has passed. So,
okay.
In one sense, I just sort of want to publicly urge everyone, hey, don't be too quick to judge. It's going to take some time. But then additionally, just get your thoughts on, sort of what kinds of measures we'll be able to, and when we might be able to see, evidence of the positive changes that we are hoping that he'll be able to implement.
I think right away, because some of the things will happen right away. Like the biggest thing will be the tax situation. That's going to happen this year, and that's going to have a direct, immediate impact. I know on me, taxes are going to be crazy. I mean, the taxes are really whipping us up, and that can happen right away. And a lot of the other things that are starting to happen will be kind of like social things that are ancillary as it relates to economic changes. Like if he brings back jobs, and if he kind of like is able to bring more opportunity to these inner city areas, if you're able to see more black celebrities and black people that are in higher positions, higher visibility in the country, if they're going to meet with Trump, if they're going to do certain things, I think that can have a positive impact. I think a lot of what he'll do will be more social change, and some of the political change will take time. But some of the political change will not take that much time. Some things like Obamacare might be kind of tough to unravel, but everything else I think would be able to be done fairly quickly. Not so long as what the man was predicting. Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. Anyway, great content. Subscriber, and looking forward to seeing more of your stuff. And thanks for this live chat. And take it easy. Keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care.
All right, now, same to you.
Bye-bye.
All right, 779, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, my goodness. Well, hello there. I am such a fan. It's a privilege to watch your show and to call in. Well, I watch your videos all the time.
Well,
yes, I'm outside Chicago. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thanks. First, let me just make a comment and give you a little background. I'm 55. I'm a woman. I'm a licensed teacher. I was very skeptical when Trump announced. I mean, I was almost like laughing, like the mocking sort of thing.
Same here.
And I went back and watched a couple, little scenes from The Apprentice. Like, yeah, he kicked me off when he did that, and that wasn't fair. And then I had to tell myself, okay, that was for ratings. It's entertainment. It's not real. He must have some substance because, look what he's done. And knowing in my mind that he's been schmoozing, or should I say socializing, and doing deals with politicians and big businessmen all over the world for decades. So there's no way he's a maniac. There's no way he's an idiot, right? It just doesn't make sense unless all those people are also not what they seem to be. Okay, so that's my background. But I still was skeptical. So I went to a Trump rally, and he was just normal, and all the people supporting him seemed very normal too. Just like regular people. People down, in my neighborhood, people down the street are pretty normal.
Absolutely.
So and I watched his speeches, all the way through. I'm listening for anything that might jump out at me. Anyway, I kind of became a convert, especially since I never liked Clinton to begin with. All right. So, but I will say at the rally, I talked to some of the anti-Trump protesters, and they were rude for no reason. Even though at that point, I was not a Trump supporter. I went to see with my own eyes and to hear and to see what his supporters were like. I'm like seeing is believing kind of person. And so I just want to say, and they were very young. couldn't hold a conversation on the subject, and I educate myself on the issues. I sit and watch the congressional hearings for hours. I want to see with my own eyes. I don't want it distilled through the media for me,
Right.
Certainly not, an interesting thing. If, in my YouTube, I subscribe to a lot. Of course, I subscribe to you. Of course, you're one of my faves. But just, the videos that pop up, and you see the same video, like the same clip, but the variety of descriptions, the variety of headlines, it's spun this way, it's spun that way. And, and I think the vast majority of people only hear the headlines. So it depends on which one they see, Anyway, what do you want to talk about? Because otherwise I would love to talk about something else.
Well, I think I got to get some more calls in. But
well, I understand. Okay, well, that's fine. Can I just very quickly
All right.
about the torture case in Chicago.
Quickly,
very
please.
sad, of course. But, and I really think to be lenient. I think you got to be lenient, all right? Because these kids are not raised right. It's true. They are not educated. It's true. The society is very permissive. It's true. That's my only thought.
Well, thank you for your call. Very entertaining. I really appreciate you. And you have a great night.
Oh, you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Great calls. All right. Unknown number. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Anthony Logan.
This it is. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Teresa from New York. Oh, I just want to tell you that I love your show, and I also love all your videos. And I am a subscriber, and I just want to say that you should just keep up the good work because I pass these on to all my friends all over America, and they do comment on them. And you're very diversified, and I feel like you speak the truth. And I give you a lot of credit for it. Because most people don't, and a lot of people are backing down from Trump's inauguration, and you're backing him with a lot of good things. So I just want to say, keep the faith and just keep going because we love you, and God bless.
Well, God bless you as well. I love all y'all. So thank you for your call. That was very kind. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And like I said, keep it up because we're going to be supporting you all the way.
Oh, well, I'll definitely do that. 100%.
And remember, I'm calling from New York, and I'm a Democrat who voted Republican.
Well, that's what I like to hear. I like to hear that. I like to hear people that, can think differently, that can get away from that and come to the light.
Oh, yes, because I just feel like, there's a lot of fake news out here, and it's very hard to, distinguish between the truth and the fake stuff. And I really don't watch too much TV anymore. I just look at YouTube, and when I came across you last year, let me tell you something. I just subscribed to you, and I told all my friends about you, and that was it. And we stuck with you all the way.
Well, that's great. I'm overwhelmed right now. I really appreciate it.
Don't be overwhelmed. Just keep up the good work. Like I said, the people in the East up here, we love you, okay?
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye. (626) you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah. I was just wondering what you think about Bill Clinton's penis.
This dude here, man. Come on. What in the world? 609, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Mark.
Mark, what's going on?
So I'm a freshman in college. I live in New Jersey. I go to a school in New Jersey, very liberal campus. And I'm trying to start a conservative club. And, it's really easy to find, white conservatives. But what I have a trouble finding is the black and Hispanic conservatives. It's just tough to get them out of their shell. I'm just wondering if you could give me any tips, maybe some behaviors that you did when you were younger in school, or that your friends did, because it's really tough to find these kind of people,
Well, I'm kind of confused as to what you're asking. Are you trying to out them?
Well, yeah, trying to get, I know that they're conservative and trying to break their shell. You get what I'm saying?
You got to be a little bit more specific with what you're asking. I'm not really understanding.
Well, I got a lot of black friends, Hispanic friends that I know they feel that they are conservative, but they're in denial. How can I get these people out? Because they're afraid, and maybe your experiences, what you have done, maybe that, what you could tell them, give me some kind of answer.
Well, there's nothing you can really do. It's all about if they feel comfortable. The thing about it, you have to understand, we have friends and family that's black. You got your parents, you got aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmas, and everybody else. You got to go to family reunions. You got to go to Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why a lot of them don't come out as conservative. There's nothing you can do. It's all about if they're going to feel comfortable within their own skin, and also not have the fear of their family, and their friends being against them, but mostly their family. That's the main thing. And if you want to get them to come out, you got to talk to their family and everybody in their family. Talk to their grandma that's 80-something years old that grew up with civil rights and all of that. You're not going to be able to do it. So the best you can do is just be a good friend to them and support them if they have an opinion that may be a conservative one. That's all you can do. But you can't make them come out of their shell.
All right, thank you very much. I've been watching your show for 6 months now, but I see you guys growing, and I'm waiting for that 100K subscriber. That's going to be a lot of fun. But thank you for taking my call.
I appreciate the call, man. I really do.
Yep.
All right now. (347), you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony, it's Mike from Queens, New York.
Mike from Queens, what's going on, man?
Not much. We spoke the last time when you did this on New Year's Eve.
Yes, sir.
Just a couple of things. Number one, what do you think about the term limits for Congress? And number two, have you ever used the phrase in any of your videos, and I think you should, from the great Michael Savage, liberalism is a mental disorder?
Well, I've not used that phrase before, but it is really in many different ways. And especially since people kind of behave in a hive mind sort of fashion when it comes to liberalism. It's like a mental disorder that's shared amongst people. And what was your first question? I forgot.
The term limits for Congress, and I'm going to let you go, okay? Talk to you soon.
All right, appreciate it, Mike.
No problem. Bye-bye.
All right. So, yeah, term limits for Congress, I think that's definitely a good idea. That's part of draining the swamp. I think I've said this before. I'm not really sure if I said it live or not, but the thing about term limits is that it makes it so you can't have these alliances between big business and the government. Because let's say, for example, you got a guy that has kind of control over an area and he's able to kind of strike a deal with a company. That deal can last in perpetuity. And that would kind of sweeten the deal, so to speak. And then the thing about it, politicians should not be so career politician-y, if that makes any sense. They should be more coming from the people. And when you reduce term limits, you'll have more people that just rise from the people, and they're able to kind of get in there rather than people that just spend a bunch of money and have all these favors and have longevity in that spot. So I think that that's definitely a good way to drain the swamp, by having term limits. All righty. 281, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, I'm glad to finally get a hold of you. I've been waiting. My name is Tony from Los Angeles, California.
All right, Tony from Los Angeles. What's going on?
Not much. I'm just calling in, and I want to weigh your opinion about the recent post about this middle school teacher, Alexandria Vera, who's just been sentenced to 10 years prison. Do you think her sentence is fair? I mean, to me, I think it's fair, and maybe a little bit more could be done, but I just want to get your opinion on it.
Oh, man, that's a tough case, because the thing about it, before I answer your question, I was going to say that there is a difference between a female teacher having sex with a young male student and a male teacher having sex with a young male student or female student.
complete difference.
The big difference, because here's the thing about it. When I was 13, right now I'm 6'3". When I was 13, I was like a good 5'9", 5'10". I was the size of a man. You know, I was almost my dad's size at age 13. So if I was to have sex with a 24-year-old woman that's like 5'2" and look young like the way she looked, that's different than a male teacher that is my size now. I'm 6'3", 205. Now I go in there and pick up on a 13-year-old little girl. That's completely different. However, I think that there should still be some kind of illegalities in each case for different reasons. And she did violate the law. So if her sentence is according to the law in that area, then it's fair. And that's pretty much what it is. But at the same time, the public perception of it should not be equal because it's not equal. But at the same time, she still did violate the law, and she was completely wrong in what she did, and she should get punished for it.
That's true. And I think a lot of teachers, especially females, they need to be focused on the job instead of just, trying to socialize with students outside of school.
Yes, yeah, but see the thing about it, I agree with you 100%. But see the thing about it, I saw the girl, the teacher. She looked like she was like a child herself. The way her appearance, she looked like a child herself. So I think that was a part of the whole thing. And I think people just need to kind of become more mature before you go into that kind of environment in general. And I think that should be something that should be part of the hiring process. You got to be able to evaluate somebody's personality.
True. Yeah, that's true, because, all that money spent on education, just, throw her life away for, someone that's younger. It's terrible.
Right. Yeah.
But thanks for taking my call, Anthony. You have a good night.
Appreciate the call.
Bye-bye.
818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Brian. I'm from the San Fernando Valley.
All right, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. I subscribed to your channel a while ago, and I like watching your videos, so I thought I'd call in and just talk about the stuff that's going on right now.
Oh, no doubt.
And I'm just kind of glad that Trump won, because, I've been tired for the past 8 years since I grew up in a very heavily dominated liberal environment. There was a lot of all this PC stuff going on, and a lot of these lies that they would tell us, without actually looking at both sides of the story and looking at the facts. So it's kind of like, most of that canopy of lies is finally tumbling down, because we're seeing, what's the truth and all that. So that's what I like about how the direction of where we're headed right now.
Yeah. Hopefully the PC stuff, hopefully that kind of goes away, because it's really kind of like indoctrination. And I think calling it PC is almost PC itself, because a lot of it is like, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of it is propaganda, and they're trying to, take the mind of people when they're young, so they grow up to think life is one way and the world is one way when it's not that way. And people are going out there in the world and they're completely shocked by what they see. That's why you got all these kids out here yelling and screaming and hollering, because they're not prepared for the world.
Exactly. Like, I remember when I was in high school, we had a conservative history teacher, and basically all the other kids who were liberal, would tell us that, oh, he's the red devil, and you can't believe him because his ways are all like messed up. And we would all believe that, because most of the kids that would tell us were all the popular liberal kids. So we didn't have a clear conscience of what they were telling us. And then you look back now, and it's like, I can't believe I believed all that stuff, and that still goes on today. They kind of tell you, like, you can't listen to the conservatives because they're all full of crap, when it's the other way around.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, and then Obama leaves in 7 days, which is, I think it's going to be interesting to see, how the Democrats and the liberals react. I think there's going to be a lot of protesting on Inauguration Day.
I think there will be some protesting, but at the same time, I think it'll be controlled, because the security is going to be airtight. Trump has his own security, and then you got Secret Service, and you also have the Washington, D.C. police. It'll be very tight. and any kind of protest will be controlled. So I don't think it would be anything that gets out of control. But people are going to go out there and they're going to be upset, but they'll get over it.
Yeah, I keep hearing though a lot of people saying that that the CIA, they want to plot something out. I mean, I don't know the likelihood of that happening, but it's kind of up. You can believe anything nowadays. I'd like to see if they'd even try something like that, because it looks like the FBI and the CIA are putting out a lot of false narratives. So it almost seems like they would be willing to go against their own leader.
Well, only time will tell. I don't spend too much time being concerned about that, but I don't think that they're going to do that, especially since the American people have much more information than they have had before. So they can't just do things without us really knowing about it and or reacting to it in a negative way that would impact them. But I got to put a pause in it right there. I appreciate your call, and I thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, Dan. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
I got to put a pause in it right there.
269. Turn your speakers down, please.
I'm sorry?
I said 269. Turn your speakers down.
Oh, yep, they're off.
All right, cool. Who am I speaking to?
My name's Mike. All I wanted to know is when are you going to start selling the "But I Digress" ABL T-shirts?
They're coming soon. I've just been very busy. I am a graphic designer, ironically, so I can do that, but I just got to get it right. I do have some drafts. What I'm going to do soon here, that's a good question, by the way, because I want to promote this right now. What I'm going to do soon here is do a show where I display some of my drafts and what I have as far as my merchandise is concerned. And I want you guys to pretty much be in the comments or maybe even call and vote on what you want. And if you have any suggestions as to what you want as far as merch, the I Digress, that's a big one. That's a big ticket one that people want. But if there's anything else, just let me know on my Twitter and also let me know on my Facebook. Or you can go to my website, anthonyblogan.com, and send me an email. You can let me know directly what you want to see and everything else. But that is coming soon.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. 941, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Peter.
You said Peter?
Yes.
All right, Peter, what's going on?
How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good.
Are we on the air right now?
Yes, sir. You're live.
Oh, okay. Well, Anthony, I came across your videos just shortly, and I'm really amazed at how you bring forth the facts. That's what I really love about you, Anthony. And I know you're from Charleston, West Virginia. I'm a New Yorker from Brooklyn via West Virginia, and now I'm in Venice, Florida. And what I really want to say is to a lot of people out there that I'm a 63-year-old man. I have 5 children, 5 grandchildren. I got my 2 youngest, my young son, and I don't call them young no more, but the young of my 5, and my daughter. They're both in the Navy. And they are held to a much higher standard than most people in politics.
Wow.
And there's a story recently my daughter told me about where a young man, submariner, took a selfie, a couple of them, in an old submarine. He ended up getting court-martialed in 1.5 years in jail.
Yeah, I did a video about that. That was crazy. And
yeah, that's crazy. And, my heart breaks when our militaries, and I'm ex-military, I got family in military, not only my own children, my 2 nephews, one's Army, one's Navy. And what I see happening in our military was this past 8 years is disheartening for what I want. I was in 75. I've never once known when I was in paying for your own uniforms. This past 8 years under Obama, our military had to pay for their own uniforms. That's unheard of.
Unreal.
And things like that, people have to look at. And I love the fact, Anthony, you bring forth the facts. I don't look at your skin color. I'm a white man, but I look at you because you bring forth an educated facts where we can take it and check it out and know that what we're getting is facts, not feelings, facts.
Right.
And that's the problem with people today. They can't bear the facts. And we've been a lawless people for the past 8 years, and now the liberals are upset because law is about to come. See, the police now in D.C. during the inauguration know that they're going to have a presence that's going to stand behind them. I have friends that are policemen. it's disheartening when you got the commander-in-chief and the number one law officer of the land that doesn't stand behind our men in blue and women in blue, especially with this woman that just got shot in Orlando, Florida. It is disheartening. And we need to bring back law and order for us to have a peaceful land again, if it can happen. So, Brother Anthony, I really appreciate you, man. I'm praying for you. Stick with it. I know you said you were from Charleston. I spent about 17 years in Charleston. Had a great time there. But now I'm down here with my 95-year-old mother in Florida, enjoying the warm weather.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely from Charleston, from Rand, specifically Rand University. That's my home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was just up there recently, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of good friends still back there. I go back for once in a while with some business that I do up in that area. God bless you, Anthony. I really appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye. Great calls. A lot of great calls. I really appreciate all you guys have. What I want to do is ask if anybody's having problems calling in, because the phone lines have been jumping. Usually when I'm on a call, I have 3 in the queue at all times. Shout out to all the callers. I really appreciate you. You're doing great. And shout out to my mod. Shout out to Azif. And shout out to Catherine K. You guys are doing great. I see y'all a little bit when I'm able to kind of just, peek back. I really appreciate y'all. I really do. 404, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Robert.
Robert, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just want to say I respect what you do, Anthony. I remember I started watching you before you were even on the cam. I really appreciate for everything you do. You're great, man. Want to ask you, now I know you're not a political scientist, but like always, you're balanced, and I always like to see your point of view on stuff. In your opinion, what do you see the difference between the philosophies of being a libertarian and a conservative? And what are also the differences and the similarities?
That's kind of a deep question. That's kind of beyond my pay grade, but I'll give you the best answer I can. Libertarianism, from what I'm able to gather, is almost like being a centrist in political form. That's the best way to describe it. Libertarians are kind of like, they don't want to really enact regulations. They just kind of want people to kind of behave according to the NAP, non-aggression principle. But unfortunately, I think a lot of their ideas are just ideas, because you got to be able to put rules down to be able to enforce it. And that may kind of violate the NAP in itself. So I think a lot of them that I've met are good people. They kind of just don't want to ruffle any feathers, and they don't want to impede upon someone's freedom, which I respect. But the face of libertarianism is kind of been ruined by guys like Gary Johnson. Somebody like Rand Paul could take libertarianism and reform it into a real respectable party and be kind of a rival to both the left and the right as they exist today. And the right is more about authoritarian, and it's more about rules. It's about it's basically like libertarianism, but just with more rules, more structure, and more strict kind of codes of behavior. But libertarianism could be the rival to that if they kind of reform themselves.
Well, I actually completely agree. And, I'm kind of coming along and learning all these different philosophies. At the moment, I do feel like I'm more leaning towards libertarianism because it just seems like a more consistent or the most consistent philosophy. And also, I think it kind of goes in very well with the Constitution itself. But I'll completely agree with you about Gary Johnson. It was unbelievable, almost pathetic, in my opinion, that, this was one of the only chances when we had to put someone out there, and we picked, once again, somebody who's very inconsistent with the libertarian philosophy like him. What's your opinion? Well, I heard about Rand Paul. How about Ron Paul, for example?
Well, Ron Paul is getting a little bit older, and it's just it is what it is, But
absolutely,
I think his son will do a good job, kind of like carrying on his torch, so to speak. And I think they're kind of similar to each other. I think Rand is a little bit more of a politician as far as being on the right, and Ron is more of a libertarian, what it should be in practice, in theory.
All right. Hey, well, and just my last question. Well, and how do you feel about this? Where do you feel you're leaning to? And also, do you think that, hey, in the next 15 years, will you find even a completely new philosophy to go by as you grow spiritually and mentally?
I think I'm pretty much good where I'm at. I don't think I would really, because I've gone through a lot of changes. I used to be a hardcore liberal back in the day. I think I've pretty much gone through my changes I was going to go through. But, I can't really predict the future. And I pretty much lean center right. But
all right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man. You keep on doing what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
You take care.
All right, now. (905), you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Turn speakers down, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. This is Ryan from Oshawa, Ontario, Canada.
What's going on, Ryan from Ontario?
How are you tonight?
Doing pretty good. What's going on?
I'm in the same. I'm just wondering because we're in Oshawa. We have an auto industry. Do you think that Trump won because of auto industry in Michigan?
I think he won for a variety of different reasons. I think the auto industry could be a part of it, but I think he won for a lot of reasons. The main reason is because he was able to reach the people really on a truly grassroots level, and also because of Hillary Clinton not being a good candidate. Do you know that Hillary Clinton got 10 million less votes than Obama did in 2008?
Right.
A lot of that. Yeah.
As a Canadian, I'm a white male myself, but I just worry about. Okay, he's talking about the border in Mexico, putting up a wall, and all these Chrysler and Ford that are moving back to Michigan and making $billion deals now. So what about Canada? Are they going to put a tax on Canada too, or is it just Mexico?
Well, the tax wouldn't necessarily be on Mexico per se, but it'd be on the companies that go there. I mean, it depends on the situation. I think the main thing with Mexico is the illegal immigration, and we're trying to nip that in the bud. So
right.
The northern.
So you
border,
don't think too much of it. It's not too much of a Canada thing.
No,
it's more of a vendetta on Mexico.
Well, it's not about it being a vendetta against Mexico. It's about where a lot of the problems are coming from. It's coming from the southern border, not the northern border.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to get your opinion on that. That's all.
I appreciate the call. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Take care, buddy.
All right, then.
Okay.
If you have problems getting in the phone call, if you have problems calling in, please leave your area code in the chat or hit me on Twitter at twitter.com/Anthony B. Logan. Unknown caller, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Sam from Mount Olive, North Carolina. How are you doing, Anthony?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on your show doing so well. I've been watching you since almost the very beginning.
Well, I thank you for being a lifer. Thank you for being here back when I just had audio only and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to come at you with is I've been hearing a lot of talk about changing airports and government buildings, I think just on the city level in some states, taking them away from being gun-free zones and turn them into an open carry zone, where even if you had a concealed carry license, you would only be allowed to open carry. I just wanted to hear your opinion on that. Do you think that's a good idea to kind of protect people from shooters by using law-abiding gun owners?
I mean, I'm with it. I'm with it 100%. I think if you have more law-abiding gun owners that are responsible with their firearms, then you'll be able to prevent a lot more tragedies. So, I'm behind it.
I think it's a pretty good idea. I live in a relatively small town, but I mean, it's not uncommon here to see people open carrying. I'm only 20. I do own a pistol legally, and I open carry, and nobody bats an eye, or it doesn't ever turn a head. I don't understand why some people in some states act like it would just be such a huge deal to see people with a pistol on their hip.
Right. People not really used to it. It's kind of a shock. It's kind of a culture shock when they're not really used to being around it. But if you kind of grew up around it, it's normal to you. It's not really a big thing. It's not, it's not nothing really to see that.
One thing that really surprised me, and this is before, Trump is talking about letting soldiers carry their weapons with them while off duty on base. And Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in Goldsboro, North Carolina, just the other week, is now allowing people to keep firearms in their home, including their children. And if you have a concealed carry license, you can keep it in your vehicle. But as consequence to that, they ran a huge shooter drill in Goldsboro, and they put all the planes in the air, and they even shut down some streets. It was pretty crazy, but I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some tragedies on base that could have been prevented if that was the case. So I don't know, a few things about that. It's kind of a deep thing, but I think that some reforms need to happen to prevent tragedies from happening on base and close to the gate.
I think it was funny, the shooting in Virginia on base, when it first happened, they were saying it was a sniper, and it turned out he had a shotgun.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even hear about that.
Yes, sir. They thought when it first happened, they were saying it was a sniper because he was, hitting people from a good distance.
Right.
And then it came out, all he had was a 12-gauge pump.
Wow.
But, hey, thanks for taking my question. You have a good night.
Same to you, man.
Good night.
Good night. 713, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Jordan Means. I'm from Houston, Texas, but I'm currently in a university in Louisiana.
All right, Jordan, what's going on?
I got a couple of things. One is that on January 20th, they're going to do a protest near my school, an anti-Trump rally during the inauguration. So I just wanted to put that out to you.
Well,
and
go ahead.
Yeah, and then
Go ahead, keep going.
All right, and I wanted to ask you something. In the beginning of the year, there was a video released by, if you know the YouTube channel Vice,
yes,
called "White Guilt in a Box." It was about these two black girls, selling boxes with safety pins and all sorts of stuff to people who were depressed after Trump won the election, particularly white women, since white women were the majority of white women voted for Donald Trump. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think about people who partake in activism or social justice just to get money or fame, or virtue signalers? Because I've noticed a lot of that lately from people like Al Sharpton and those two girls that I told you about, and Jesse Jackson and many other people, Sean King as well. What do you think about those people? Do you think that activism has taken a turn for the worse because of it?
Well, there's always been people that try to profiteer off activism. That's been going on since the beginning of the country. That was going on back in the 1800s. That was going on during the slave abolition movement. That was going on during Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington. It's always been going on. So it's not anything new, but I think it's dangerous because what ends up happening is you're creating an environment where people think that what you're doing is really legitimate, but it's not. People think that there's a big problem with all these things that you're trying to profiteer off of, but you're trying to make it be a problem to make money. So it could be dangerous when somebody take it to heart and really believe it. So I don't think it's a good thing to do. Even though I am a capitalist, I think that it's dangerous. And that's pretty much it. I think people need to kind of understand that. People are just trying to make money. Just understand what it is and don't take it seriously. But people do take it seriously, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. And I say this because I think back to people like Martin Luther King Jr. When he won the Nobel Peace Prize in the 1960s, instead of the money he got from that award, instead of, dedicating it to himself, he gave back to people in the movement. And
Right.
when he was assassinated, the people gave back to him and his children. But I don't see that. I don't see people idolizing over these civil rights activists. I see people who just, live the good life. There's no, it's no surprise that people like Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson say what they say, because it benefits them, but it doesn't benefit the people they lead. So that's something that I was pretty worried about.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but the good side of that is, the positive thing is that there are a lot of people that do a lot of good work out here, real work in the black community and other communities. They do a lot of real good work, but they don't get the fanfare, but they do it regardless, and it's effective. The people that you see on TV and stuff like that, those are just people that are just trying to make money and trying to become celebrities, trying to be famous, or they have become celebrities based upon what they do that has media coverage. But the people that's really out there making a difference, they do not get media coverage, but they still are able to be effective in their own way. So, there's still activism that goes on. There's still things that happen that help, but it just don't get the attention. That's all.
All right. Thank you. I love listening to your videos, and I hope to listen to more of you and speak to you again.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. (412), you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my name is Michael. I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Michael, what's going on?
Not much. I just tuned into your stream. I found it kind of interesting. And I was listening to some of the conversations you were having with some of your listeners, and I was hoping that I could kind of chime in on one of them.
All right.
It was an individual who spoke a little bit earlier who was asking your opinion about the difference between libertarian and kind of conventional conservatism. And I noticed that you kind of jumped into some of the ideological differences between the two, and we were talking a little bit about politics. I felt kind of a need to call in because I wanted to kind of discuss that with you. I think that really structurally, there's not really too much of a difference. And really, there's something that eludes, I think, a lot of folks with regards to it, is the basic fundamental structure of how politics work, rather than the ideological principles. You can have different ideologies to dress up politics, but usually the structures of it are primarily the same. And I wanted to kind of talk about that for just a brief moment. Is that okay with you? It's your show?
Yeah, you talk about it for a brief moment. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So, my understanding of kind of how it works is, the politics is about being in power, and the primary job of someone who's in power is distributing resources, right? So no man rules alone. Okay, there's a great YouTube guy by the name of C.P. Gray that has a really great video, and I'd encourage everyone to check it out. And, just kind of gives a rundown about the basic structure of politics, and they'll do a more detailed description than I can give in a 5-minute phone call. But essentially, no man can rule alone, and politics is about essentially having a couple of key supporters that you need in order to govern, so that you can remain in power. And there's different ways to do that. You can do it through dictatorship, or you can do it through democracy. But the fundamentals are still the same. You need someone to run your army, you need someone to run your police force, and you need someone to collect and manage your treasure. Right?
Okay.
So, those are the fundamentals. The difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is a dictatorship, normally they just go ahead and take their wealth by force, by gunpoint usually, and just kind of take the goods that the people make and either resell the products on the market to make a nice healthy margin, or they take the funds actually directly from their own people. In a dictatorship or democracy, the difference is that they don't really take the money from the people. They use a tax system to do it. And so what's the most important thing in our democracy is productivity, because the more productive your people are, the more you can tax, and the more resources you have, the more you can keep your key supporters happy. You can keep your military paid. You can have a nice, large standing army. You can keep your police paid. You can keep all the people that keep you in power happy. Right?
Right.
So fundamentally, really, the what they call the winning coalition, the people that allow an individual to be in power, are usually the margin of people that essentially can win an election. Because instead of using tanks and bullets like they do in a dictatorship, politicians in this country, in order to get power in a democracy, they have to use words and ideas, right? So the winning coalition are the ones that can be influenced, that one margin that's going to throw you over the top so that you can get the winning votes, right? And while
my man, I gotta interrupt you. You gotta go ahead and sum it up. I got some more callers on the line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fundamentally, it's basically all the same. The only difference is it's who you're catering to.
I'm with you.
You got different blocks of people and different ideals, and it's just who you're catering to, and that's it. And the only reason those politicians really want to stay in office, a lot of them don't even necessarily believe, in terms of from an ideological perspective. They really just want to stay in power. And if there's a block of people that are very religious, or there's a block of folks that, really care about one particular issue, and they're going to come out on that issue, that helps them essentially get their winning coalition so they can win. So structurally, there's not a whole lot of difference. It just depends on who's going to reward you with the tax breaks and who's going to essentially help you get what you need. And that's just fundamentally the difference.
I'm with you on that, man. Thank you for the call. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Have a good night.
Same to you. All right. 615, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Robert in Boston.
What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to call and thank you for what you're doing. So I live in Boston. It's a really liberal city. I'm here in college. And, whenever I say something that's on the conservative side of the spectrum, when it comes out of my mouth, it's racist. But when I pull up your videos, people are more willing to listen.
Say it one more time.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, whenever I say something that's on the conservative side, or whenever I say something that's like pro-Trump or against Hillary, then I'm a racist, right?
Right.
I'm like a white kid in college. But then it's really nice to be able to pull up your videos and have them come out of your mouth. And then, some of them will still call you racist, but it's a little less common.
Yes.
So.
See, the thing about it, I say things that a lot of people cannot say. If you're a white guy, you can't really say what I say. But because you have things that can happen to you that are a little bit more severe. See, I get like name calling from people that don't have any power, but you may have a situation where you might have a professor that may do something to you as far as your grades or something is concerned that if you say something they don't like. I mean, I've heard stories like that really happen. So, I think that I have a duty to a lot of people in the country to be a voice. I'm like the voice of the voiceless. People that are white that cannot speak out because they don't want to fear retribution. People that are black that cannot speak out because they don't want to fear their friends and family kind of like ostracizing them. People of other races and ethnicities that can't speak out because they don't want their individual consequences to come upon them unfairly. I don't worry about any of that. People that I know, people in my family don't do that to me. People that I really do business with don't do that to me. A lot of them agree with me. So I'm in a position to where I can do that and not feel the consequences. So people like yourself don't feel alone and don't feel like you're just on the island by yourself.
Yeah, it's really helpful because, for example, like I couldn't speak out because whenever I say anything, then my opinion doesn't really matter. Like they say that I have white privilege, white male privilege, that kind of thing all the time. And then I see, colored people too have difficulty speaking out because they're like betraying other black people, other Hispanics, things like that. So they'll just kind of be quiet about their conservative views. So,
the correct term is minority, sir.
I apologize.
That's all good.
No, I get more of that than you would know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for taking my call. I just wanted to call in and thank you and let you know that, what you're doing is really making a difference. Because, when it comes out of your mouth, for me, like, race doesn't matter. But for a lot of people on the left, that's all that matters. So when I say it, it's the wrong thing to say. But when you say it, it's not racist. So
there you go.
Anyway, I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Yep.
We got 295 live in the building. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, so I really appreciate you. The callers have been crazy. I'm getting calls from all over the country, all over the world. 254, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, Anthony, man? This is Mike from Texas.
What's going on, Mike from Texas?
Hey, not much, man. Hey, I appreciate your show, man. I've been a subscriber for a while now, and I try to keep up to date with all the things you release. But I had a couple questions, man. What are your thoughts on Obama pretty much telling Cuban refugees that they're no longer welcome here?
I have not really read up on that. I've seen that the wet foot, dry foot. I've not really read up on that a lot, but I don't know. It's just kind of strange because you got different policy for different countries. You got Haiti. It never really was welcome here before. So if Haiti's not welcome here, then why would Cuba be? It's weird, because on one hand you're like trying to normalize relations with Cuba. On the other hand, you kind of like not. It's strange. I think that immigration should be open to people from all over the world if you can just come through correctly, and that's pretty much it. Anything else, I don't think should be. I don't think it should be that way. And if it's gonna be that way for one country, then it cannot be a double standard. It cannot be one way for Cuba and different for Haiti or somewhere like that.
Oh yeah, I agree. Definitely no double standard. I mean, so you don't think it has anything to do with? I mean, just from my research, and I mean, I don't know too many Cubans over here in Texas, but from what I've been doing some research, I mean, Cubans do tend to vote GOP or Republican leaning. You think that has anything to do with it, or I mean, because he's letting these Syrian refugees in here, non-vetting nothing, knowing. I'm not saying that they're just coming in for the vote and they're gonna vote, Democrat or liberal, but that kind of got me, wondering, why they're trying to pull this at the last minute before Trump comes in, and those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Obama is trying to do little last minute stuff here to try, and if not to try and undermine Trump, is to fulfill his legacy. He's trying. That's what he always talks about. It's my legacy. He had a speech where he gave, I forget who that was in front of, but it was a lot of black folks in the audience, and then he was like, "Well, if you don't vote for Hillary, it'd be an insult to me and my legacy." And it's like, really? Because
I know, right? I got one more thing. Man.
I
mean, I don't want to keep you waiting, but so this whole thing on John Lewis, I understand, and I know he's a civil rights icon and stuff like that. But he's saying that basically Trump's presidency is illegitimate because the Russians were quote unquote rigging the election, so that makes him an illegitimate president. So my thing is, well, if that's how you want to take it, then the DNC rigged the primaries for Hillary Clinton, so that makes her an illegitimate candidate. According to I mean that's how I see it. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean,
nah, I mean I'm with you. I mean, if his view is that the Russians interfere and they so-called rigged the election, then it's got to be the same thing the other way around. And we got evidence of what the DNC did to Bernie and what they did during the primaries and stuff like that. So you can't just cherry pick and be like, well, this happened, so this is this way, and ignore something else that is the same thing that would impact somebody that you like in a negative way. That's not. It's all political games. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. It's all political, man. And the last thing, what do you think? So this is his last week. His last week of pardons. Do you think he's gonna try and swing some pardon for Clinton? I mean, I know he said he can't. He told Snowden that he couldn't pardon him because he hasn't been convicted of anything. So she hasn't been convicted of anything either. So, man, I don't see how you can throw a pardon her way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna end this on this note. I think that he said that he would not pursue any criminal investigation on Hillary. So that's kind of his way of pardoning her without actually pardoning her, because like you said, you got to be convicted of a crime. I think him not pursuing anything is his way of actually pardoning without pardoning.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Well, I appreciate you taking my call, man. Like I said, keep up the good work, man. I'm a loyal subscriber, man.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for the support as well, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Later.
916, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Zipporah Wilson in Sacramento.
Zipporah, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? I have a question. I felt that in 2008 when Obama was elected, it was very symbolic as far as him putting us in a different direction. And one of the things that I did agree with was, in his speech, his farewell speech, were the different things that he said about racism. I think it was the first time I ever heard him agree that there was racism in the white community. I think that over the last 8 years, if he would have touched more on that, that could have united us more. Why do you think in the last 8 years he didn't go that way as far as uniting us more and touching on the different struggles of all races, including white people?
Well, it's kind of a complex thing, but I'll answer it in a non-complex way. See, the thing about Obama is that he may have personal issues on the inside, battling with being biracial, and not having a connection to the African American community because you grew up in Indonesia and Hawaii. So then when you come to the United States and you go to Chicago out of all the places in the world, and then you go to a guy like Jeremiah Wright, and you were in the church for like 25 years, at that point you learn a lot of the hate that comes from the black community, unfortunately. Now that's kind of like inside of you. Now you're dealing with a conflict. Now you want to be like, okay, do I want to be a race soldier for the black community, or do I want to help the American people? So then when something comes up like Skip Gates that happened back in 2009, and you say right away that the police acted stupidly, at that point you being a race soldier because you feel on the inside you should be, because of what you've been taught when you came to America, and also because of your own personal demons dealing with being black and white, and trying to think, okay, I want to help the black community, and I want to do what the black community, so to speak, says I should do. And you're not thinking logically from the perspective of trying to bring everyone together. You're trying to put your black identity before the problems of the whole country, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate. Like, when I first, it's crazy how I found you because, and I think it may be because I'm out here in California, but I hadn't, received a lot of positive growing up in the black community, particularly from black men.
Right.
And I think that it could, personally, I was like done with black men, and it's crazy that I found you because I was on the phone with one of my friends. And one of the things that we decided that we would do is I said, okay, I will try to find a way to find the positive in black men again, and then she would do the same for other races. And so I typed into Google black conservative commentators, and you were the first thing that popped up.
Wow.
So I wanted to thank you. I thanked you for this before, and you actually responded, and you said that it meant a lot to you. But keep going because it's going to be. I think that a lot of these people that are calling in who aren't black are saying that I see no race, but I don't think that they realize how important it is to have a figure like you who is black, who is conservative, to kind of, spread the message. And we're like unicorns. So I want to thank you so much for everything that you do. Keep it going. I won't keep you too long. And thank you for taking the call.
Thank you for your support, and thank you for that very kind comment you had before. I really do appreciate that. I'm never going to forget that. So thank you for being who you are.
Sure thing. You take care.
Same to you now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Three 314, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. Sorry.
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
Connor Chambers.
All right. What's going on?
I've been watching your YouTube channel for like about a year, six months, and I have a question about, all this Trump positivity has came up since Kanye West has gone on board. Sorry, I don't know that other guy, but that one guy who mistakenly.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. Yeah, I think that's good. And I think, him reaching out to the LGBT community was good too. He's debunking the stuff that people have all seen him as. I mean, they're not going to get on board with him. And they're not going to, say, "Oh, well, that's what he does." So, or or I see that, I acknowledge it, but it does help us to say, no, actually, he's been helping us. He's not anti-Semitic. He has a lot of relatives that are Jewish.
His daughter?
He's professing Islam. Huh?
His daughter is Jewish by conversion?
Yes. His daughter is Jewish by conversion. And Donald Trump isn't great. He's not perfect.
Yes.
And he's actually been like, oh, well, my cabinet members are their own separate people. We're not a hive mind. He doesn't expect his cabinet to have the same views as he does, but all unite together on some common views. So
100%.
Mike, huh?
I said I agree.
Yeah, and just ending note, I love what you do. I love that there are tons of diverse YouTubers like you. Yes. There's Blair White, a transsexual. A lot of women, a lot of white guys. They're good too. I don't go for diversity, but I go for diversity of thought, and also for the people who are watching, listen to what liberals have to say, and pick their good parts, their good talking points, what they have,
Absolutely.
And I think that will unite us. Anyways, good talking to you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. All right, Luke Camillo, if you in there, I forget what your area code was. I'm going to get you on next. If you can hear me, give me your area code and I will pick up for you. 803. Okay, I'm going to pick up for you next here. But you're not in the queue, so I got to answer this next call. Okay. 301, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 301.
Hello. Oh, yes, Anthony. What's going on, Anthony?
All right, not too much. What's going on?
Nothing much. This is Kevin calling from Maryland. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. So, just one thing. I'm an immigrant, and I've been here for 12, 13 years.
Where are you from?
And one thing...
Sir, where are you from?
I'm sorry?
Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland. I live in Maryland.
You said you're an immigrant, but where are you from originally?
Oh, I'm from Uganda. Uganda originally.
Gotcha.
Yes. So I came here to be an American. I love America. I love what this country has done. And I love the opportunities this country has provided for me and everyone that I know. And one thing that I'm really tired of explaining to people is, especially black people, the black Americans here, who continuously complain about the system oppressing them and, just racism and this and that. They can't get jobs and opportunities. But you look at these immigrants who come here, they're very, very successful, and they do better 10 times better than the people that were born here. So I don't know when these black people are going to understand, or when they'll try to understand that education and skill will get you far.
Yes.
So anyway, that's my point. And also another point, I'll be going to the inauguration. Are you going there? Are you going to be there this Friday?
I'm going to try to make it. I'm in Virginia. I don't stay too far from the D.C. area, and I got family up there in Southeast and Waldorf and that surrounding area. So I'm going to try to make it. That's my goal.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. Glad you're able to get through this time.
All right. Yes. All right, man. Take care.
Same to you.
All right.
966, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Osama from Saudi Arabia.
All right, what's going on?
How you doing, Anthony?
Doing pretty good.
Well, I just called to talk about Ben Carson and the Steve Harvey meeting with Donald Trump.
Yes.
Well, I think it's a golden opportunity, for Black Americans, to take advantage of this, election, because there's no better way to make the inner cities in the United States better and advanced only from those who were raised there and who were born there, because they know exactly what's going on and they know what's really happening there.
Yes.
So I
yes,
believe,
yes.
I believe there's a golden opportunity, for all Black Americans to work with Ben Carson, Steve Harvey, whoever is black there, because they're the ones who's gonna make everything great. And I believe it's a smart move from Donald Trump, to select Ben Carson to do so. And good luck. I hope I wish everything will go fine, everything will go smooth, in this upcoming days. And that's it. I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity, to call you and to say hi to everybody.
Well, thank you for the call.
That's what I got
really
to say.
appreciate. Where you calling from again? One more time.
I'm calling from Saudi Arabia, Jeddah.
All right, Jeddah. I appreciate the call. International. Thank you.
Okay. I'm calling from Saudi Arabia.
803, you're on the line. Turn your speakers down, please.
Is this Mr. Logan?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
This is Luke Camillo. I'm from Georgia.
Luke Camillo, what's going on? We finally got you through.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening with my phone earlier. It was giving me some problems. Every time I called, it would hang up. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you for being a healthy alternative. Just the fake news, CNN and everything that's going on right now. And I wanted to ask you. I've been watching Donald Trump lately, and I've noticed that he's been a little bit inconsistent with the promises that he made during the election. The whole Hillary Clinton email scandal thing, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I said that a little bit earlier about how people were asking him to pardon her. But like I said, you can't pardon somebody that's not been convicted. And what he did was basically pardon her without pardoning her. I think that's kind of like olive branch she's extending to people. And that's pretty much it. But I still hear myself. So turn your speakers off, please.
Yeah, my speakers are off. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, I don't know. But nah, that's pretty much my answer about that.
Okay, well, I also wanted to thank, I'm white, but I just wanted to thank you for giving us a different perspective on the Black community. I know people they sometimes lose hope when they see these thugs capturing autistic kids just because they're white.
That was crazy.
That was not good. But definitely thank you very much for that, and have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All righty.
Bye.
Okay, I'm at 2 hours. Wow, I'm at 280 viewers in the building. I'm gonna take 2 more calls, just 2, and I got 2 in the queue. First, we're gonna go 412. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Michael.
Michael, what's going on?
Not much. I was hoping to have kind of a conversation with you about race and politics. Is that something you can engage me in?
It's going to have to be brief because I'm almost at the end of my stream here. So give me about 2 minutes of your talk.
Well, I kind of want to know. I heard you speaking a little bit, and you said that you kind of lean a little bit center right.
Yes,
which is kind of interesting to me. Not good or bad. It's just you don't. There aren't a whole lot of African Americans that usually lean to the right. Usually, it's a little bit more to the left. And,
yes.
And there's and I think there's some reason for that. But I wanted to kind of ask you, you lean a little bit more to the right. Do you mind if I ask you a question? If were your parents or grandparents, would they also lean to the right or they lean to the left? Is it a military family? What kind of background is it?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. We come from West Virginia originally, very Christian conservative kind of place. All right. So we're all Christian conservative socially, but politically we're liberal. That's the best way I can explain it. So I've always kind of been conservative, just how I act. You notice I don't curse at all. If I was a curse in my household, it'd be like it's like I stole like I robbed a liquor store with a gun. That's how
I know what
serious,
you mean.
You understand what I'm saying? So very conservative as far as how I act. Yeah, you understand what I mean. So, but the politics
is there any military background there?
Yes, my father was in the military for 3 years. He was in the Marines. He was also a firefighter. My uncle, my mother's brother, my uncle was in the Navy for 20 years. And my grandfather on my dad's side was I think he was in the Army for a brief period of time.
And yourself, do you have any service history?
No, sir.
Okay, so I come from Scotch-Irish heritage. Settled, born and raised in Pennsylvania. I actually have some relatives that worked with some of the relatives of the Carnegies, and they essentially worked as a strategist kind of for the GOP on the mostly on the media side. My grandfather owned a radio station, and talk radio is kind of one of the main outlets for the GOP. And one of the partners of the station was a guy named Richard Mellon Scaife. Scaife runs a whole bunch of newspapers. He's related to the Mellon and Carnegie families, and major political operative. Used to fly out and meet up with Reagan during the 80s and have these one-on-one meetings with him. Really hated the Clintons too. So that's my background, and we have two very different backgrounds. And so I'm curious, to talk to you a little bit about kind of how you came to the center right. So I wanted to ask, so your parents and your grandparents, you mentioned that they kind of lean a little bit more on the liberal side of things. I'm assuming that, did that happen around the time of LBJ in the 1960s? Were they conservative before that?
Well, I'm 32, so I'm pretty young. So my parents were like little kids when that happened.
Okay, so your grandparents then, that would probably be their time.
Yeah, I can't really answer for them because I don't have any living grandparents except for my grandmother in West Virginia, and she's not really political at all.
That makes sense. Right. I mean, from the way I understand it is that, before the time of LBJ, you actually had a lot of African-American families that were Republican, essentially because of Abraham Lincoln. That kind of set precedent.
Yes. Correct.
But after Abraham Lincoln, the party slowly changed. And
No change happened.
No change happened.
No, sir.
Well, hold on there. Let's talk about that. So, Abraham Lincoln was one of the largest expansionists of the federal government.
Okay.
And you're going to say that there's no change between the current GOP platform and the platform of Abraham Lincoln?
Well, you understand what I mean. What I'm saying is that
No. Expansionists. One of the key fundamentals in politics is how pervasive and how large the federal government is over state governments.
Well,
that's one of the founding arguments of this country, and that's what the divisions between the parties is usually based on.
All government, the right talks about wanting to limit the government, but do they really limit the government?
Limit the federal government, not the state governments.
But you understand, like, the right talks about limiting the government, but do they really do it? Ronald Reagan was a great president, but look at what he did to the debt. I mean, you just got to be honest. Like, there was no party flip. That's kind of like a big myth. There was no party flip. The Democrats have always been Democrats. Republicans have always been Republican. The people changed, not the party.
Actually, there was a big party flip, and it happened with LBJ. It was the civil rights movement that redefined what the Democrats were going to stand for. Don't forget, the Democrats were the ones that essentially were in the South that wanted to secede from the Union.
The Democrats have not changed. I'm going to tell you why. The Democrats are still the party of segregation. If you go to a Democrat, tell me. Here's a question I got for you. What's the most segregated place in the entire nation as far as the schools are concerned?
You got me. I don't know. You mean currently, right now?
Right now, today, 2017.
I don't know. You tell me.
New York City.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Stomp down liberal. They say they want all this inclusion, all this. They don't. They want that for the South, not for the North. That's why.
Okay.
That's
so
why
I'm calling
that's
you
why
from
the
Brooklyn, New
emancipation.
York. I actually work with the schools here. Okay. I'm in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I work in a community group. Okay. We focus on setting up chess clubs for schools, and there's a lot of integration, and there's a lot of different people in Brooklyn. The thing about New York City is that you have different neighborhoods that are cultural enclaves, especially in Brooklyn.
Okay, so if liberals are all about inclusion, this, that, and the third, then why are the neighborhoods so segregated like that? And Chicago's the same way, and LA is the same way.
Well,
but where I'm at in Virginia, it's not like that. So why is it like
Well, I'll
that
tell
in
you-
these liberal enclaves? Why is it like that in these liberal cities, but it's not like that down here where I'm at in Virginia?
Well, I'll tell you two different things. So, number one, New York is a city of immigrants. Okay, it's still a city of immigrants, and that's what makes it good, beautiful, and strong. Okay, you got Lady Liberty, just a couple of about half a mile off our coastline. This has always been a place where immigrants come in. It's the first stop you come to when you're coming to the United States during the 1800s, right?
Okay.
And it's never changed. It's always been a place of immigrants. And often when you're an immigrant, you're coming in from out of town, you tend to want to be around your family because that's where your support structure is. That's how you survive, at least for the first few generations. And then after a while, you kind of branch out. So in Brooklyn, especially in Brooklyn, you have your Puerto Rican hoods. You got your Irish area up in Sunnyside, Queens. You got Scottish areas. You still have these kind of holdovers from 100 years ago.
Let's say it properly. You have white areas. You have black areas.
Bullshit.
You have
Not true.
No cussing.
Not true.
No cussing. I gotta
You got it.
call
Sorry
on
about
that
that,
note.
sir.
I gotta, but
No,
nah,
sir.
I mean, you cussing everything. That's fine. I ain't tripping on that. But we've been going for a long
Oh,
time.
yeah, I don't want to offend you.
I gotta
apologize.
get to my next caller. But I appreciate the call. I know my chat has been kind of lit up right now from the responses, so I definitely appreciate you for your perspective.
I'm sure, but before I go, I do want to say one thing that I think
20
is
seconds,
kind of
please.
important. Race has been a part of politics since the beginning of this country. You know, there were 3 commodities that were traded
Quickly,
when
please,
the
sir.
United States was set up. What was that, sir?
Quickly, please, sir. I got to get to my next call.
You got it. The United States was set up as a penal colony. It was a place where the UK sent their prisoners to do work, okay? And it was a place where you could make money. And there was a trade route that was set up between Africa, the U.S., and England. And
Okay,
there were 3
all
commodities
right. I
that
mean,
were traded.
you're kind of getting into a long spiel. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I got to get to my next call. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Oh boy. Hey, shout out to you, man. You got a little bit triggered towards the end, but there was no party flip. It's always been liberals in the Democrat Party. They've always been the same way. Republicans have always been the same. Nothing changed. If you go to LA, Chicago, New York, they're all ran by liberals heavily, and they're extremely segregated. There's crime differences. If you go to Chicago, it's beautiful in the white areas, and the black areas it's terrible. Same thing goes for New York. Same thing goes for Philly. Same thing goes for all these Democrat-ran ghettos. The whites live in good neighborhoods. The blacks live in terrible neighborhoods. Where I'm at, it ain't like that down here in the so-called segregated South. That's the truth. But I digress. 763, you on the line. Turn the speakers down, please.
You go to LA, Chicago.
Oh, hello. Sorry about that. Hello.
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is Tayo.
I'm sorry?
This is Tayo. T-A-Y-O, Tayo.
All right, where you calling from?
I'm calling from Minneapolis.
All right, what's going on?
Oh, thank you, man. I'm really happy that I got you after like 22 tries. But I just want to say, that I love what you are doing, Anthony. Like, I've been watching your video consistently. You know, I take on the bell. I love the way you talk about things. You break it down easily, simple, no big words. You know, I digress. You gotta trademark the I digress thing, but I digress because I've seen a lot of people use that word without giving you credit for it.
Yeah,
But
I see
one thing
that a lot too.
Yeah, but one thing I just want to say is that, you know what, like, watching your videos and watching some other videos, I've realized that it just seems so difficult to get, like, black people to understand the other side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so difficult. Like, you try to break the argument down. You try your best to lay it down in layman terms. It just doesn't seem to cross over. Like,
I don't understand why. Like everything is so simple to break down, it's so simple to understand. But for some reason, he doesn't get it.
Well, sometimes people don't want to get things. They may understand, but they don't want to understand. That's the problem.
Yeah, like for example, like Trump is the president, right? I mean, I voted for Trump. I supported. Yeah, Trump is not the best guy. You know, he's not perfect. But at the same time, you have to understand there's a bigger picture behind everything. You know, like as a black person, even as an African, I'm from Nigeria. You know, I'm from Nigeria, and they're like, oh, how can you be Nigerian? How can you be black? You know, how can you vote for Trump? I'm like, we all live in America together. We don't want to make America better for the next person coming in. You know.
Right.
Like, why shouldn't we just look at the bigger picture and just forget about something he said that we're not saying perfect, but look at the bigger picture, look at things, and let's just work together, make America do it. But no, you're cool, you're Uncle Tom, you're dancing for the white man. I'm like, oh, God. It's just like, I watched a video on Twitter, and I see people, like, I see some people commenting, oh, you and your coons are meeting up together to have a meeting. I'm like, wow. Man, well, like it's just like for example, like Kanye West and what's his name, Steve Harvey went to meet Trump. You know, like the guy's going to be president. Like there is no point in fighting Trump. There's no point. It doesn't make any sense.
Because he's a president now, so don't fight him. He's here, so why fight?
Exactly. Like it's like they're fighting a losing battle. They're going to lose anyway, no matter what. Just work with the guy and see what you can get out of it. Simple as ABC. I know. It's like there's nothing about moral victory with black people. Like it's like a moral, like people would rather die than say the truth. I don't get it. It just bugs my mind. Like, why are you doing this? Anyway, I don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep the line tied up. You know. Thanks for letting me through, though, and I appreciate what you are doing. Thank you very much for everything. Keep the good work, though.
Thank you for the call. Hello? I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Same to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nigeria for the call. My man from Indianapolis by way of Nigeria. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. You know, we got a pretty diverse caller group. We got Saudi Arabia. We got Nigeria. We got Estonia. We got all over the United States. I definitely appreciate all of y'all. All right. One last call. I promise. 301, you're the last call. Who am I speaking to?
David.
David, what's going on?
Hey, just a few quick questions or a couple comments and then a little bit poking fun at you. Just be aware that you're great. Love your show, so don't take it too hard. So the first thing is, anytime you're arguing with liberals, what they're going to do is they're going to give you a history lesson, and that's where it gets all muddled, because they'll always go back to slavery this and black people had it bad and so has oppressed them. And that's why they'll always just go for the government should solve this by giving groups of people assistance or programs. And that's just great on the surface, but that can never win, because the people that get trapped into that by politicians that just tell them what they want to hear will always be stuck in that cycle of never getting ahead. The way to combat this is anytime they go on those tangents, you have to bring it back to the individual. And you have to do that, because then they'll just take you on a wild goose chase. So that's the first thing. The other thing was, did you notice this? I had two comments and just one little poke fun. Did you notice that Africans who have come here, first generations, have split and are no longer on the side of a lot of black Americans because they consider them lazy? And that's because they know what it's like to come from oppressed countries. So they got firsthand knowledge, and they love coming in America because it's like they get all these freedoms and they might start small businesses, but they have this disconnect, and then they're not being supported by like a lot of Black Lives Matter groups. And so that's why I think in the media they started to say, hey, don't call me African American, I'm a Black American. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that part of it, but I know what you're talking about as far as Africans and African Americans kind of being culturally split even
Yeah.
after the first generation. Yes, I understand. I see that.
Yeah, and you can see that in all first generations, even Mexicans, like even this thing about shipping Mexicans, that are illegal, especially if they're criminals. I support that. But if they are just normal immigrants that follow the law, they are hard workers. There's no doubt about it, because they're trying to escape their countries, not just Mexico, but South America, which is even worse. Like imagine coming from Venezuela. So I just wanted to point that out. The other thing is, it's kind of a joke. You're known as I digress, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I was going to tell you, the only time you use that is when you go on a long tangent and you didn't mean to do it. You go off topic, but don't apologize when you go off little tangents. Like if you just go off a little bit and it's not that long, you don't have to say I digress, because you're apologizing and it's breaking the flow of your dialogue. So you can just say anyways, or nevertheless, or as I was saying. But you don't have to say I digress every single time.
Hey,
So
that's my
use
thing
it
now,
when
so
it's-
I'm pretty much stoked with it.
You got what was that?
Hey, that's kind of like my thing, It just kind of flows for me, because when I'm talking, it's just a way for me to kind of bridge thoughts.
Yeah, but you're apologizing to us. You don't need to apologize.
No,
I like
I'm not apologizing. It's a way for me to bridge thoughts. It's not like I didn't mean to say it, because I edit my videos.
Wait. You mean you did mean to say it? Then don't apologize.
Alrighty.
You know what I mean? So just go with the flow, but don't say I digress every single time. Just say, anyways, move on.
I got you on that one, but I got to go ahead and end the call right there. I
All right.
appreciate your call.
All right, later.
All right, then. Okay. I got to go ahead and I got to end my stream here. I'm sorry if you were on the line. I had two in the queue. I apologize I was not able to get to you, but I've been on for about 2 hours and 21 minutes. I only wanted to go for about an hour and a half, but I digress. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Catherine K. Thank you, Azith. Thank you all for being in the comments and being good. Shout out to all y'all. If you have any final comments, please let me know in the box, and I will, go ahead and respond to you. I got about 5 more minutes out before I'm out for real. I'm gonna go ahead and post a link to my Patreon. If you like what you heard here, drop some ducats in the bucket at my Patreon. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I did not just I can't be here forever. I'm Imperial Peasant. I can't be here forever. Hopefully I was able to get to you guys' favorite books. Jimmy asked me what's my favorite books. I'm not really a book guy, honestly. I'm more into articles online. I do have books behind me here, but I'm more into articles at this point. I will not do push-ups on the stream. That is not going to be what I'm into. I appreciate the comment in Jira. Dina Jones, I see you in the chat. You were great. I appreciate you. If you want to be a mod, Dina, let me know on Twitter, or let me know on my website. Go to my website, anthonyblogan.com. You can go to contact if you're interested in being a mod, if you're interested in doing whatever you want to do. If you're interested in sending me something, let me know on my email on my website. You can also go there and donate on PayPal. You can also donate right here in the chat if you want to do that. I will tell him that, Azith. I will tell my dad. He said that you said simplify. I will tell him that. Dat Hip says, can I save my live streams on YouTube? Yes. This live stream will be up on YouTube after I'm finished. It'll automatically record. It may take a little while. I'm not going to dab. I found bacon. I appreciate that BIPI hitting the Patreon. The European Union, hopefully it will remain. It may not survive as the European Union, but hopefully Europe as a whole will be okay. All right. Ricky Young, I see you in the chat, man. No coconut water tonight, man. I didn't have enough time to get it. Let me see. 100K coming soon. I'm gonna go ahead and put a pause in it right there. If you're not following me on Twitter, please do so. Twitter.com/Anthony B. Logan. The Patreon is in the link. That's patreon.com/Anthony B. Logan. Go to my Facebook. That's facebook.com/LCS.FLYERS. And that's pretty much all I got. So I'll see y'all next time. I probably will be back here on Saturday of next week. Maybe I'll be live streaming on Inauguration. Who knows? But if I do that, it'll be on Facebook. So I love all y'all. I appreciate y'all. Peace.